Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Today I'm going to be showing you Toyo 45A and a bit of a first impressions and movements and description of what it can do. Very similar to what I did with Intrepid, which I'll link up here with the new black Intrepid Mark IV. This is the Toyo 45A. This is still sold new, if I'm not wrong, in B&H, and I'll leave a link below if you want to purchase it. New, they're not cheap, but they're really sturdy cameras. This is the 45A, and then there's the 45A2, which is the one that's still currently sold. So Toyo Camera, made in Japan. It's pretty much all metal, and it's a clamshell, sort of like a press camera, like a Graflex, but has quite a bit of stuff to it. So let's get started. First thing you want to know is to open it, you have to press this button in the front, and basically you press that button and you push the clamp open. And that way it'll stop at 90 degrees, as you can see, and you gotta screw in these knobs to tighten it, and that would be 90 degrees. And now you have the front standard. The front standard, not like the Intrepid or the Chamonix cameras, is already on the bed, pretty much like a Graflex, but it's folded down. On the front standard, as you can see, you have to have these knobs loose, and you push them up a little bit. Let me push them up a little bit. There we go. And that way it will let you mount it 90 degrees. So basically there we could screw it on, and this is very, very tight, so this is not usually how you want to shoot it. Let me tighten that one on. You have this middle knob or lock that basically in the middle will let you drag it out. And you can't see it on the camera, but let me push this camera, this tripod ball head down. But here you can see the measurings. So it'll say 150, 100, and so on. So these markings are the focal length of your lens. So if you're shooting on a 150, which I'll set up right now, this would mean somewhere around there. You lock the front standard, and that would be infinity focus with a 150. And this is close enough. It's not exactly maybe infinity, but it gives you a ballpark. This is not screwing like the other cameras. This basically, you want to change to a different lens, just put it in the middle, push it inwards, and you're ready to shoot something like a 120. Or if you're doing a 210 or something like that, you can like push it out and then lock it. There's two sets of markings. One is silver and one is red. The red one is when you extend the back all the way, which we'll get to later. So now we've had this. If you want to do the rise and fall, there's a little red marking on the top here. Let me show it to you. It's orange on the top here, top right, no, top left corner for you guys. That is the zeroing position. One thing to notice with the Toyo is the lens boards are specific. They're not Linhof style like many others. It's a Toyo lens board. So basically, you gotta go to eBay and buy either Toyo original ones, or there's some other third-party ones which I'll link. This is a Luland from China, which actually are quality, good quality lens boards for large format. And this is a Copo Zero probably that goes onto that, and you can just put your large format lens. We're gonna leave the lens off for now, lens board. So basically to lock that back in, you just have to do that. If you wanna see exactly, basically you have to sort of push it in there, and then there you go, that's the lens board. So rise and fall, like we did before, rise and fall. And there's a lot of movement, but the bellows are pretty sturdy and pretty hard. One thing to note with these cameras is the bellows usually tend to fail. So if you're buying one secondhand, make sure they either change the bellows or they give you a discount if the bellows have pinholes and so on. So if we want to do more of those movements, rise and fall, we have to maybe extend it a little bit more, and then now we'll have more wiggle room. This is sort of a press camera, so you don't have a ton of it, but it does have a generous amount of rise and fall. Then to the rest of the front movements. Basically here there's these locks, which we push inwards to lock, or upwards, sorry, and downwards to let you do tilt. And it's base tilt. As you can see here, basically this is the front base tilt. And when you want to go back, it locks at 90 degrees. So to unlock those, there's these two little side knobs or locks, which you push inwards, and now it will let you basically move it backwards. So that would mean you can tilt backwards if you need to. We're gonna unlock, put it back to 90 degrees, and lock it again. So that's the base tilt. Then swing and shift. We put the middle knob and the lock in the middle, which do let you change your focal length or focus. So be aware of that. And here you can do shift, or sorry, swing and swing. And it doesn't have a lot of movement. It has like maybe 10 degrees or something like that, but usually that's more than enough. And then also shift. So let me point at the camera. So shift, you have to push it sideways. It also doesn't have a lot of movement, but it does do quite a bit. So there we go. Like 10 millimeters one way, and then lock or zeroing, and then around 10 millimeters the other way. And then lock. When you're ready, you can lock it, turning it to the left to you, my right. So that's the front standard. And as I said, focusing on this camera now is done with these two front knobs. So we can focus and we just extend. And when you want to lock it, you have this little lock here, which you push backwards. And now the locking system is locked. We unlock it, we can move it again. And that lets us, focus, critical focus. It's a little hard on this model, probably because of its age, but it still works absolutely fine. So there, we lock it and we're ready. Now we're gonna go to the back. So to go to the back, let me turn it around and you guys can see it. So the back has, of course, an international 4x5 size. So basically your 4x5 holder goes in here. One thing it does have is a little lever that lets you insert it, which is really nice. So you don't move your camera and shake it all around. You push it all the way in and then you can release that little lever. This would be your normal dark slide, or I mean dark film holder, sorry, double film holder. And you can shoot 4x5 and 9x12 if you're shooting in Europe. And then if you want to take it out, that releases the pressure. You can pull it out and set it aside. This is really convenient. You don't want those extra movements in the back. This is in vertical position. If you want to change it to horizontal, basically you can just press this button on the side and turn it. As you can see here, it turns and locks, and then we can turn it again. It does 360 degrees, so there's not one way to do it. You can insert your film holder from the bottom now, then you can go the other way, lock it in horizontal position, press it again, go back to vertical position. So that's basically to move the back standard or the back focusing screen, and you can shoot vertical or landscape. Then what else do we have? We have a little built-in hood. So we just push it open and you can stay straight into your shot, which is really convenient when there's sun and you don't want to take your dark cloth and cover yourself. It's nice for quick shots. The ground glass has edge markings per centimeter squared. So basically 10 centimeters one way, 12 the other. And then it also has little markings for 6x7 and 6x9 medium format backs, like the one we have actually over here, which is a 6x7. And I'll show you how to put it on. But basically to fold it, we just have to push it down and it clicks on. Then if we want to remove it to use the graph lock sort of backs, we basically have to grab this and push it inwards and up, as you can see now. And your ground glass comes off and your lens, viewing hood or, camera hood comes off. And then you have the normal graph lock back. So you grab your back, this is actually a Toyo back, and you place it here and you push these inwards and inwards, and you can be shooting 6x7 right now. That's how simple it is. If you want to take it off, you release, and you have your 6x7 off. If you're going to shoot Polaroids with the Fp4C, this is the 405 back. I'll leave a link below. Same thing, inwards and inwards. You can shoot a Fp4C, or you can shoot the one shot from SuperSense, which they're making again. And basically the same thing. You want to release it, you can put it out. You probably can fit this with the normal back attached. And then if you want to use a 545, basically I can attach this again, which is very simple if I know what I'm doing, which is basically hook it there, and that's hooked. We grab our 545 to shoot Polaroid 55, 54, new 55 film. We just slide it in, and there we go. We can put our sheet, shoot, and then process, because this is a processing back. And then we can remove it, and that's how you do it. So basically that's all the stuff you can do with the back focusing screen. Then the back movements, which we haven't mentioned. We have a couple things. There's extension. So on the bottom here, there's two little locks, which I'm going to try to feel. There we go. And now you can extend it. Let me see if I can do that properly. It can be extended quite a bit. It has 2 locks on the bottom, okay guys? So they were unscrewed because we've been testing before, but you want to unscrew those and then you extend it as much as there. And if you want to lock it back, you can lock this bottom one and this bottom one. And also you can lock these 2. And then you're ready to have the full extension, as you can see here. You can still focus the front and still get more bellows, but of course remember the bellows are old, so sometimes they can break, so we're not going to push the limit on this camera. But basically that's the movement on the back. And then you also have the tilting, base tilt. So here we can go forward and then it locks at 90, but if we want to go past 90, we have these little locks on the side which we lift up, and then now we can go backwards. So you can even go higher than that, or more of an angle backwards. It basically doesn't have a ton, also maybe 10-15 degrees, but it works absolutely fine for those little adjustments you might be needing in the field. And do remember, this is more like a press camera, not so much as a technical monorail camera. And now we want to put the extension back in, unscrew the back, unlock these sides, and we can push it all the way in. And that's all the way in. And these 2 locks on the back also let you do, if I'm not wrong, a bit of swing on the back, as you can see there. So we can swing, and you can hear it has zeroing position. So that's 0, swing all the way, 0, swing the other way. So that's pretty nice. And I don't exactly know, but I don't know if the rails can do that independently. Some cameras do have that, but these rails, no. Both rails come out, so you can't do that with the rails. So yeah, basically that's all there is to this camera. I mean, it has a bunch of features. It's actually really compact. It has a little side hold here, so you can, carry it if you need. You can use all kinds of film holders. You can use almost every lens. Do remember the lens boards are specific to Toyo. And they're still so new, which is great. And honestly, for this camera sells for around $300 to $500 US used, the 45A, which I think is a great price for, legacy camera. And the new one is probably a couple grand, but you are buying a brand new camera. So yeah, that's how you sort of operate this camera and use it. It's not my camera, so if I was a little clumsy, I'm sorry. I just wanted to show you guys, and I think this kind of information is not so available on the internet nowadays. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. Oh, one last thing I forgot. You can also remove the little viewing thing. So if you don't like it, you can basically pop it open, put your loop in there, and you can also push it to one side and take this off if you don't want it at all. But then if you do want it, just click it back on, and it's really easy. This is really good for focusing. Basically open, focus, close, and you can use this to compose pretty fast. So yeah, guys, let me know what you think about this camera. Leave a comment below. Do you own it? Do you want to own it? Have you owned it? And what other cameras you want to see on this list. I have a couple more large format cameras I'll be doing this with, but I really want to know what you guys want to see, and maybe I can get my hands on. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and see you in the next one.